Okay, the last exercise for lesson 14 is Aesop's Fables part 3. Okay, we're going to continue to add to the Aesop's Fables site that we worked on in lesson 13. But in this exercise, we're going to add an animation to create an appearance of pulling a book from the shelf. Okay, remember we added that hover effect. When you roll over, the book opens. Now we want to add this appearance or illusion of the book being pulled off the shelf. So we're going to first copy our code over, then add a CSS animation to style CSS called open book that changes any book's dimension from a height of 200 pixels and a width of 100 pixels to 400 by 300. Finally, add an animation attribute to the CSS rule you created previously so that the animation starts when you hover over a book. It should take 3 seconds and it should keep its final state. So we're going to use forwards in our rule. Okay, some hints. We're going to need to use that keyframes selector to define the animation, and we will not need to create a new CSS rule. We're going to add the animation attribute to the rule we already had. So let's go ahead and get started. There's quite a bit here. Okay, so first thing we want to do is copy our code over. So I'm going to open that up. I did finally go ahead and finish that. So I do have 6 filters. Let me see. First, let's do the HTML. Okay, then over here, I'm just going to replace this. Okay, and also the style sheet. Okay, so I'm going to just run that and open it up in a new window. Okay, so here are my 6 books. Okay, so basically we had that hover effect, so when we roll over we can see that open book. So you guys can see my 6 filters here. I went with brightness, blur, invert, sepia, saturate, grayscale, but you were able to use whatever ones you wanted. But either way, what we're trying to do now is create this illusion of the book pulling off the shelf. So let's work on that here in Aesop's Fables part 3. I'm going to go back to the exercise to make sure I got everything I need. So first thing we want to do is add a CSS animation called open book. Okay, so we are going to basically add a CSS animation to CSS to style called open book. Okay, so over in the dot book hover rule, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add that animation attribute. Okay, so it's gonna go in my hover rule, and the animation attribute is basically, okay, so I'm gonna call it open book, and it should take 3 seconds, and we want it to end like that. Okay, and basically we're gonna use the keyframes filter. Let's see. And we're gonna put in the name of our animation, and we're going to say that we want to start from a height of 200 pixels and a width of 100 pixels, and we want to go to a height of 400 and a width of 300. So it's going to be slightly larger, mimicking the illusion of basically pulling that book off the shelf. Okay, so let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I am going to refresh my page here. And when I hover over it, there we go. Okay, so you can see that the filter's still applying, but now you're getting that animation effect of the size basically getting larger. So pretty cool. All right, so that wraps up lesson 14 on animation, and we have one more lesson left to go. You guys are doing wonderful work. Please keep it up. The next lesson is interaction. Okay, so we're going to be learning how to create some interactivity in our web pages, and I will see you in lesson 15. Nice job on lesson 14. If there's any questions on this, Aesop's Fables, please leave it in a comment below. Bye, everyone.